Hi, welcome to Crafts by Doti. We are so happy to have you here. If it's your first time being on this channel, feel welcomed. We do have new videos every Tuesday on DIY and woodwork projects. If this fits your liking, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on our weekly uploads. On today's project, we will be making a log bed. This is a project that we did some years back, but it turned out impressive to some of our clients. It will be a great pleasure to get through the process of redoing it with you. For this project, we need 2 logs for the headboard and 2 shorter logs for the footboard. For the headboard and the footboard, we will need 3x2s, and for the rails, we will need 6x2 pieces of cypress wood. We will also need half an inch sheet of plywood. We will start off our project by cutting all the logs into the required sizes. For the 3x2, we will have to cut the edges at an angle of 45 degrees using the miter saw. So as to have a flat surface for the 3x2 pieces, we will use a hand plane. While planing, it is good to keep checking to maintain a good fit. Next, we will sand all the logs, and here we are using a 60 grit sandpaper. We then used a router to cut a groove of about half an inch where we will place the plywood. For the mitered corners, we are using a claw hammer to create a rough surface. This ensures that we have a stronger bond since the glue will be able to penetrate the small grooves created. Cypress has a tendency of splitting up, so we use a nailer to hold the 2 pieces in place. Piloted 2 holes and reinforced with 2 screws. We repeated the process to the 8 corners of the 2 frames. We then got our half an inch plywood and cut it using the table saw to fit the size of our 2 frames. Afterwards, we attached them on the frames by applying glue and reinforced using 1-inch screws. We used a belt sander to flatten all the joints. We then used a drill and attached a piece of cellotape at the bit to guide us on how deep the pilot holes should run. On the logs, we marked the points where the boards will fall in. We then used a claw hammer to create a rough surface which will ensure a strong bond after gluing. It's now time to attach the frame, and you're using 3-inch screws to hold it firmly in place. We repeated the same process to the other side, and here is our footboard. It's time to cut our wooden slides. We need 400 to 500 slices to fill our headboard and footboard. To ensure this was fun and easy, we created a V-shaped jig and added a stopper on the other side of the meter, so that way we would manage to cut slices with equal sizes. Our next step involves gluing each single wooden slice and attaching it to the board using the screws. There is no stipulated formula in doing this, just place the slides next to each other and fill any gap with a smaller slice, and everything will fall in place automatically. This is how your footboard and headboard should appear once you're done with fixing all the wooden slices. If you watched our previous video on how we made mahogany beds, you should be familiar with the Mortise and Tenon. Here we are placing marks for the mortise and we will use a router to create it. We measured 2 inches away from the frame edges. Using a router, we then created the mortise where the rail will be joined to the headboard and the footboard. We also used the router on the rails where we created a hole where the nut will hold the bolts. We then created a hole on the rails where we will attach the bolts. It's better off to drill the hole before attaching the tenon since there is enough material to support the drilling bit. We attached a dovetail bit on the router and attached a piece of board on the gauge to act as a guide. To round the edges, we are using a rough file. Next, we will dry fit the rail as we mark the center of our mortise. We then use a drill to create a connecting hole. We did the same to all the other parts. We attached a fastener bit to the drill to help us create a wider hole measuring 2 inches on the back side. This will enable our 6-inch bolt to easily get through so as to attach the rails. We did this to all the holes. We did attach all the sides and used the orbit sander to sand down all the sharp edges off camera. For the head and the footboard, we had to sand all the wooden circles using a sandpaper, and it was not easy. We would advise anyone interested in this project to sand the wooden circles before attaching them. After doing all the sanding, we applied 5 coats of clear varnish. We left the bed to dry up and embarked on creating the bedding platform. We did cut the required size of plywood, which we will attach in the bedding rails. To create the bedding rail, we used a 6 by 1 inch wooden pieces and sliced them into 3 by 1 inch pieces, which are attached as shown. We then fixed the plywood on the rails and nailed 2 strips of 2 by 1 inch on the other side to hold the bedding platform firmly in place. So that's it, and here is the final look of our log bed. We hope you enjoyed the video. Let us know in the comment section below how you feel about this project. Thank you for clicking in to Crafts by Doti. If you're new to this channel, make sure to click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified anytime you have a new video. Until next time, see you!